Hi there, I've recently purchased the Insignia dock kit for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm going to compare it to the actual Switch dock that comes with the console. Go over some pros and cons, I think, of the Insignia dock. Is it worth your money? Is it worth getting? Quality, etc. So here's the box. Whoops. I think it was $39.99 on Best Buy site. It was on sale for $34.99, and it comes with it comes with a power adapter and an HDMI cable in the box. So for 39 bucks, you get the portable dock, power cable, and an HDMI cable. I'm not sure what this little white paper is. Let's see. So for some reason they put a little white sticker over where it said Switch before. I'm not sure if they're trying to change the name or if it doesn't look like they misprinted anything, but nonetheless, there's a little sticker there. First impressions, just even holding the box, it's kind of heavy. I mean, it's got some heft to it, so I mean that's, I guess, to be expected from all the stuff that's inside. But let's get this opened up. Going into it, one thing I really wanted to talk about throughout the video is I had read a review. I think it was like the only review they had on BestBuy.com, but a guy mentioned it wasn't spring loaded. The USB-C port, when you plug the Switch in, it wasn't spring loaded, unlike the actual Switch dock. So he gave it a 4 out of 5. So I want to address that in particular because words can only mean so much unless you actually see it and feel it in action. So I hope I can kind of display that today. Alright, so there's the HDMI cable. Nothing fancy, just a normal Insignia, I think, HDMI cable. There is the portable dock. Let's see, you can see the USB-C, HDMI, USB 3.0. Check that out. Yeah, so there's what he means by the whole spring-loaded bit. It's just a USB-C port kind of just sitting there. Let's take a closer look. Not sure how well you can see that, but with the Switch charging dock, or with the Switch portable dock, if you look at them side by side, there's no USB-C port kind of just sticking out of the mechanism. It's all enclosed in there, and if you push down on it, it kind of reveals it. So this one, the USB-C port is just kind of sticking out. So I assume going into it, it's going to be a little hard, probably putting that in, because you have to line it up and you have to click it in. Whereas with the Switch dock, it kind of has grooves in there that do it for you. So nonetheless, side by side, this thing is definitely smaller. So you have the normal dock that comes with it, and then you have the Insignia one. So definitely half the height, for sure. There's two of them side by side. So you got the two USB ports here on the normal dock, and then all you really have is one right there, that little white thing, with the Insignia dock. So two on this one over here, and then you also have another one over here in the normal Switch dock, but all the ports are on the same side here. You got your USB-C, HDMI, USB 3.0. And yeah, it does have some heft to it. I mean, just kind of feeling it. Even though this one over here is bigger, even though the normal Switch dock is bigger, it feels lighter. Even, I don't know if the weight is distributed better or if it's just different material used here. This one has some heft to it for sure. All right, so let me take the cables out just to show you what they look like. So there's that one. And here is the power brick, comparing it to the official Nintendo power brick. This one's a little bit bigger. Insignia branded. Unnecessary this one is, but here you got the Nintendo Switch official power adapter that comes with the console, and on the right side there's the Insignia dock power adapter that comes with the dock. I just wanted to make an observation that the Insignia one is definitely a little bit longer than the switch one. Not that that's super important for most people. I mean, I don't really know the measurements off the top of my head, but there's maybe an extra foot or so on the Insignia one. Freeball the height of this cable, the HDMI cable. I'm about 6'3", and this cable comes up to just under my chin. So I think it's what, 4-5 feet, I believe. So that's the HDMI cable that comes with the Insignia. I don't really have the Nintendo one present with me to kind of compare them side by side, but nonetheless, first observation I could tell on the power adapters, the Insignia one is wider. In terms of weight, I guess I can't really tell a difference, but even the material. Obviously design will look a bit similar, but the Insignia one is totally a little bit wider, more cubic, but longer nonetheless in terms of length, about a foot longer. A little bit a docking test. So I'm just going to close this, take the switch out, and just dock it in here, and that's it. It sits very nicely, very easy to dock. So take it out of the normal switch one, very easy, super easy to dock. Okay, let's try the Insignia. Oh yeah, it's kind of annoying. That is, it's not annoying, I guess, it's just a lot harder. Oh, there we go. Definitely can't take it out of one hand easily without pressing against the backside. So yeah, as that guy mentioned, not spring-loaded on the Insignia one. You keep trying to see if there's a really easy way or something. Yeah, you really have to line this thing up in the middle. I mean, once you get it lined up, it's not that bad. It's definitely not as easy to put in as the Nintendo one, the official Nintendo dock. But then again, it doesn't come out easy, which might be good if you're trying to, like, if someone knocks into it. Pretty well balanced too in terms of weight. Like, I'm trying to just portray an animal running into this, or a baby or something like that. They pushed it against this side. It's not really easy to bend it backward and knock it over. If you push it over here, it's super easy because it's front loaded. Taking it out of the dock, cannot do it with one hand, like super easy, unless you push against this thing with your thumb or something and kind of like, or your backside, kind of pry it off. Comes out pretty easy. And then, yeah, I'm already getting used to putting it in, so it really isn't an issue that it's not spring-loaded, at least for me. Kind of have to force it in a little bit, take it out. Just make sure this isn't actually damaging the switch. Yeah, we're good. Okay, cool. So the spring-loaded bit isn't really too much of an issue. I'm not going to take away any points for that. It seems kind of petty. The weight of this thing, it's a little heavy. It's from what I can assess, it's definitely heavier than the Switch dock, even though it's smaller. So I'm not sure if that's because they use better metal or they cheaped out on something. But I honestly don't mind. The size is good. The ports are there. Very simplistic design. The spring-loaded bit really isn't an issue. So let me try actually docking it and see how well that goes. Just get this connected. Cable's plugged in. One thing I actually like about this is all the cables are readily accessible on the back side. So with the Switch dock, you kind of have to open up this little compartment and then fiddle around with plugging in the HDMI there and the USB-C down there, closing the dock and stuff, and making sure it doesn't really tip over. This one, it's kind of front loaded, so if you kind of push against it on this side when the Switch is in, it won't really bend backward, which is cool. If you do it on the front side, it might. So I'm gonna try that out. But what I like initially is that all the ports are easily accessible on the back side. You don't have to open that door or anything. It's not going to tip over really without the Switch being in there. It's very nicely distributed in terms of weight already. So let me get the Switch popped in. And see, I got pretty used to it, so I could just do it easily, even if it's not really spring-loaded or something. Nice visible light there to indicate that the console's on. And let me try to... There we go. So the one cool thing about the Switch dock is, since it is spring-loaded, you can literally just lift it out of the dock super easily. This one, it's still easy to take out. I mean, not as easy. You kind of have to push against the backside, lift it up. It really isn't a big issue at all. It's super easy once you get used to it. It'll become second nature. But I just wanted to make that observation. You can literally just pop this thing in, boom, pop, there you go. Put it in, take it out, super simple. This one, you kind of have to press against it a little bit, but it really, really is not a big issue whatsoever. Look, when I get used to it, you just take it out. Put it in, take it out. Not a big deal at all. I would still not take any points off from this. So in terms, yeah, for the price, for 39 bucks, I think it's worth it, because I've tried to kind of discuss the quality between this stuff, or amongst this stuff. So for that price, you get a power cable, you get an HDMI cable, and you get the dock. In terms of quality, I think this stuff is perfectly fine. The weight is okay, but it is definitely heavier than the normal Switch dock. But you're paying 50 bucks less, right? So the Switch dock, it's 89, this thing's 39. It's cheaper than just one normal Joy-Con at the store. Then you get an extra dock you can move around with you. So based on what I see, I think it's totally worth it. Honestly, unless you just really want the Nintendo quality, or you want it to say Nintendo, I really can't justify paying an additional 50 bucks for the actual Nintendo dock when this thing's out. I don't know how the quality is, but I mean, granted, I just opened the thing, but like putting it in, taking it out, it's become very easy. It instantly kind of pushes it to the TV. As soon as I take it out, it's right there on my Switch. Put it back in. There you go. Again, I don't have the Switch dock plugged in, so I can't really test like the time between handoff from console to TV, but it was like a second or two, so it really isn't a big issue if it's lower or something. I still think $50 saved is worth 5 stars on its own, considering the quality is pretty good. So all in all, I recommend it. I give it 5 out of 5 because I really cannot fault this thing at all. Honestly, I give it 6 out of 5 just because it's 39 bucks. Insignia, it's made by Best Buy, so it's not like bad quality by any means. And you can always return it right into a store if you need to, but thing holds up pretty well. Let me try like a little tipping test. Yeah, now that the console's in there and the cables are in, it's a lot harder to tip this over. If you're pressing against the backside, there's not really much chance. Plus, the Switch is actually plugged into USB-C, so it's hard for it to fall out of the console versus a spring-loaded. It could just kind of tip over. So, again, I give it 5 out of 5. The price is good. The quality is good. Cables are at least the same length, if not longer, in the case of the power adapter. And, yeah, no complaints on this thing.